All right, let's do this thing, the last exercise we have to do. So the first thing we need to do is we need to click on that link in exercise 4 and download a file we want. Let's bring this back up again. Okay. There's my file. It's available on Dropbox, so I'm just going to download it, which I can do now. Download. Click download. Off it goes. Saved it. And there's my folder there. So I've got locations.xlsx. Now I wanted to show you very quickly what this looks like. In this spreadsheet, it's okay. We've got location 01, 02, 03, so they're the locations that we have in ACL. I've given it some names, and we have longitude and latitude. Now we've seen these before. The longitude, vertical, so these are all in the northern hemisphere. Actually, no, I'm wrong. These are all in the western hemisphere. That sounds right. And these are the ones showing how far north they are. So what we're going to do is we're going to hook this table into the inventory table using location as the key, create a new table that we then put on a map and visualize it that way. And we use the value of the inventory to show what that's doing. So I will close that down. Open up Power BI again. Create a new page there just because why not? Go to our table here. Bring that back. We have to have the one table. We need to get our data. Now we've done this before. So we click Get Data, we go to Excel, we connect, and we find that locations table. This is the same file, it's just a different location. Open. So now I end up with locations as my table. And it should be nice and small. It is our nice and small table. So that's what our Excel sheet looks like. Go to the Relationships tab, and it recognized as we imported it, there was this Locations tab here, Locations field, Location field, and it joined them. Just double click on that link, and I can see here what the relationship looks like. That should look familiar because we're going to use that later on to do another integration. So let's confirm that's done. That's good. Create a join table query. Now, this is new. We're going to create a new query, merge locations and inventory information together, and then graphically represent that. Now, I've given pretty detailed steps in the tutorial worksheet. And we're going to end up with a summary table. So let's do this thing. I'll get the data first. Query editor. So we get there, click on Edit Queries on the ribbon, and there is our query editor. And we need to create a new query. This query editor would allow us to edit inventory or locations, and we could do a lot of transformations in here, but we're not going to do that. We're going to go to Merge Queries. So we're going to do a merge query as new. That's going to combine inventory and locations into what Power BI will consider to be a new table. So off we go. Here's our merge. So that looks familiar. That looks a lot like the Relationships tab. So we've merged queries as new. Here's our dialog box. We've got inventory at the top. That's our primary table. Now this, if you recall, is very similar to a join table in ACL. Same idea. Same level of skill required. I need to be able to do a drop down, pick this other table that we have, locations, if I had more tables. I mean, I could import every record in ACL and put this in here. With your ACL assignment, you could import all of that data that we have, put it into Power BI, and have a visual walkthrough there as well. But inventory, locations, I want to make sure that I've got location and location selected. So it's using location as the key between the two. The selection has matched 152 out of the first 152 rows. So I know that they're matched. It's a left outer join, all from first matching from second. There are a number of options here. And if I remember my Venn diagrams, that's what this would all do. We want a left outer join. This is essentially the same as what happens with SQL for those that become the information retrieval subject. Click OK. Now, what that has done is it's taken all the records from the first table, all the columns from the first table, added them in here. And it's added locations in as well. Now I've said to expand the table field. So if I click on that, double click, sorry, click OK, one click, and now I've got all of those records there. That's good. And what is that as join? So we see lots of repeated rows going on. So all that talking in seminars, here we have repeated descriptions. We're seeing all of it happening. Okay, so now what I'm suggesting we do is we can click on all the fields we need to keep. We don't need a lot of this info. We don't need that. Sorry, we need location. We need to keep value 1, which is here. We need the longitude and latitude. We don't need to pick up locations again because that's the same as that location is the key. We need the description. All of this other material, if I right click, I can remove the other columns. So it's a way of quickly getting rid of columns you don't need. Bingo. I've got location, value, locations, longitude, locations, latitude, locations, description. I've now transformed and combined my data. Now, what I need, and I mainly was worried about the value column, because I'm not too good in this case, inventory value. I could have also done choose columns here, and just clicked off the ones we wanted, and having done that, I could then have removed those columns that we selected or remove the other columns. That's an alternative way. Now, I could delete rows, but I don't really want to do that because that's going to change the meaning of what I look at. We need to aggregate. So at the moment, we still have 152 rows. What I want to end up with is one row per location telling me the total value and giving its longitude, latitude, and description. And a lot of these are repeated. So what we're going to do is we're going to group our data. So here's our group by option here. And basic would just do it by 1, and we want multiples. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to group by location. How to grouping? We're going to do longitude and latitude. And this only works because we know that this data is all coming from the locations table. Now, I could have done a different kind of join. This is the easiest way to achieve what we're after. We want the description. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And 1, 2, 3, 4 is what we need. We don't group by value 1. We do that here. We pick, we need to give it a column name. I'm going to call it by inventory value. We put it to sum. Okay, I've got a number of aggregate functions here. I could do the average. I could do, that will give, if I did the average, it would give me the average value of each stock item in that location. I could just count the number of items, but I want to do sum. And I want to sum value 1, okay? So that's fine. Let's click OK. See how I've now got back to my 7 locations, okay? Now, if you remember back in my ACL, I've still got it. 268,988,06 for that back on 2. 268. Let's put it over here. That's my query editor. 268,988,06 for value 2. Okay, cool. We know that our numbers added up. Okay. Close and apply, because we're in the editor here. We go up to the right left-hand corner, close and apply, and that will become a virtual table in our new, as a new table in our record here. And that's it there. Merge one. Now I can rename that to give it something meaningful. Right click and rename. And I've been told to call it inventory value by location. Notice my camel case again. Enter. So that's cool. That's good. What I find really fun with something like this, if I go back to the data and I go to inventory value by location, I've got all of that. What I want to do is I want to just show you that this is all being compiled dynamically real time. So if I go into the drive, the directory where I put that locations file from, and Line Dance Emporium, I want to call that Larry's Dance Emporium. Okay, Larry's Dance Emporium. Go back to Power BI and look, Line Dance Emporium, still line. If I go over here, remember this is a created table. It's a merge of inventory and locations. I refresh the data. Refresh my data, do something cool. Okay, no, I'll have to refresh locations. Oh, no, what have I done wrong? I did not save it. Yeah, that's what I didn't do. Save it every time. Trap for young players. I did that deliberately. Spot the deliberate mistake. Go back to my merge table again, refresh my data, and Larry's Dance Emporium. So I can dynamically change this spreadsheet, refresh this, and off I go. Now that doesn't have to be, if you remember when we get data, we can have multiple different sources, including databases of various types. So again, we can refresh and bring our data in whenever we like. I'll just bring that back to Line Dance Emporium. And I'll save it this time, which is what I didn't do before. Refresh. Line Dance Emporium. Excellent stuff. Let's take a look at our visualization. What I need to do is make that my active table, create a map visualization. Now, there is a filled map. Filled maps are painful, and I want to pretend they don't exist. Probably shouldn't, but there you go. I've created a map, and now I just need to go down and drop the values from our created table onto our visualizer. So the first thing we're going to need is we need a latitude. Latitude, and the first thing we need is I need to select that, yes. I need to put latitude in, do longitude. Instantly, we've got a map showing us where all in the continental United States, each of these cities are. So now suddenly, I've got a very visual reference, nice geospatial. And I was going to make the size of the bubble tell me all about the inventory value. And instantly I can see that Missouri is my biggest, by the look of it, and Washington, probably New Jersey, looks like it's a close race between Ohio and Iowa, and Mississippi is quite small. That scale is a little misleading to me, but that's just how the map works. I think it's got a minimum size. Now, we're also instructed to give it a map style of aerial. There we go. And also, we're asked, create a page level filter for location where location is 1. Go back to here and page level, location 1. So I'm going to just pick up location, drag it onto, oops, not there, page level. Okay, show items when the value is, so just plain old is, number 1. Now watch what happens to the map when I do this. We have zoomed in, and I can actually zoom in some more, just with the scroll wheel. So look at that, it's a real place, corner of Toronto and the NI 35. I'm sure that's a salubrious location. And we're asked to go find that spot on Google Maps. So I could just hover over that. So what I'm going to do is pick up my visualizer, put it there, pick up my browser, put it over here. Okay, go to Maps, Google. Now, my latitude is 30.32 and 97.7. So, I think if I can just type in 30 point. Can I type in 30.7 longitude, 94 latitude, 94 latitude? That's probably not going to work, is it? Let's just try that again. Negative 97. Okay, let's try that. Where to find that? Texas. So we'd start. Let's just get a more fine number. Let's try 30.32877. Negative 97.708. There we go. So I can just put that into Google Maps, and what you'll notice is, so there is our building. The buildings are the same. The image is slightly different because Power BI uses Bing. This is Google Maps. I could go to Bing Maps, but people do there is Power BI. And this is what it looks like from the screen. Make that a bit bigger. So we can actually see our place on the map. Okay. So there we have Jerry's Artorama. Excellent stuff. So I can go back to here and go back to my visualizer. And I'm a happy person that has been able to visualize their data. I can remove that map filter just by going to here and killing it. And it instantly goes back to the good one. And I can play around with my map, doing all sorts of things. I can do a dark, I can do a light, which is the default one, I think, grayscale. It's very grey, and the grey map. I'm not the grey map, it's the default one. But I can see the sizes here, and I can play with that. I can change the thought bubble, the tip, power tips, and all that tooltips. But an excellent graphic to have available. Our last question. Where in the United States is there a strong presence of warehousing facilities? Well, look at that, all over the eastern states. Okay, so we've got New Jersey, the Midwest, nothing between Kansas and Nevada. We've got Washington up here. So an excellent visualization. I can see where our stock is, where the value is. I could probably put our profits in if I wanted to, if I've got that kind of activity, where our employees are, and I could filter them to see who's all at the same location. So it's a very powerful thing. Obviously, there is also, go out, a preponderance of North America, well, continental United States. Obviously, Alaska and Hawaii are not covered by our warehouses. May have to do something about that. So there we go. That's the end of exercise 4.